I don't know. I did the same thing, except this time it didn't kick us out. When I hit edit, it let me edit it and go all the way through.
Oh, good.
So I did it.
Okay.
Are we in?
You're live.
I'm live? Well, hello.
Surprise.
I don't have one camera, but I'll live without that if necessary.
I had to turn it off and on again.
Hello, guys. Oh,
But she's there.
Sorry to be late. We had a little conflict between our system and Facebook, and it just kept throwing us out of the system. So we are. Oh, there I am. There I am. Okay, I guess I'm maybe gonna show. I'm not sure. Oh, there I am. Okay. And now if I can, there we go. I have a picture. I have chat. Life is good. Okay. All right. So you got to love technology. Yay. But, we're here and we got a lot to do. So hello, everybody. Hello, Brenda and Kathy Girl and Betty Goslin and Annette. And I'm sorry you're feeling icky from your shot, Thelma. But I'm glad that you are getting that shot because that's good for you. So that's good. And everybody else who's out there who is further up in the chat that I can't see right now, welcome to everybody. And we have beautiful cards to make today. I'm so excited about these. Susan looked at these and said, "More rope, look, more rope." Yes, more rope, because I like these anchors. I think they're great fun. So without further ado, let's just get into our kit, shall we? These are our cards we're making today. We'll just take a quick view of our cards. There's one. You can put this on my hands now, Margie, if you would. 2. 3. I figured since we had that little sailboat die for the frame, we might as well use it. You won't be able to make that card in quite that way without unless you have that die. 4. 5, and that die was sold with, we sold that die in the first week kit. So if you got the first week kit, you have that die. Oops. Were you here during the first week, Susan?
Yes, I was there.
Then maybe you already have that die.
I have the anchor. Oh, have I got the other one as well?
You might, if you were here during week 1. Have you done 3 weeks of these cards?
This is the third week, yeah.
Okay, then you might already have that die.
Okay.
You shouldn't buy it just in case.
I'll double check.
And there.
Okay.
So, yes, Bryce was in the room getting us restarted. And now he's gone. He's gone to go and find something for dinner at the grocery store. But we called him back to say, help.
He said he doesn't know what went wrong either.
Okay.
But hi, everyone.
Susan's here in the classroom. We got Brittany, we got Susan, we got Margie, and me. And Teddy's in and out. No, Ted's here at the moment, but okay. Let's take a look at our kit. What we're going to use today out of our box kit 14 is, here's our topper sheet. The group says hi, Brittany. And the group says hi, Susan.
Hi.
We're using this one. We're using this piece of double-sided paper. We're using this cardstock. We're using this cardstock. And we're using these 2 inserts. This one and this one. There we are. Hi, Glenn. Welcome, friend. Okay. Let's get... Oops, I need to show you your kit for the week. This is what we have for our kit. Of course, we take this out of our magazine box kit 14. We're going to use this quite a bit. Got lots of anchors on these cards today because I do so love that anchor.
Flynn said, "Good evening, party survivors."
That was a marathon, wasn't it? Holy cow. Okay, so, wow, this rope is thinner off that other spool. It'll still work just fine, but this baker's twine is thinner. Okay, there we go. So you got baker's twine, aka rope. You've got foam squares. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of 7x7 mirroring. In the silver, you've got an A6, a mirroring in European A6, and a mirroring in gold, excuse me, European A6. We got lots of cards and envelopes because we are going to make a lot of things. We have a 5x5 card in the envelope. We have a whole bunch of, yep, that's the same size. I think these are US A6, aren't they, Brittany? Yeah, so. US A6. You have 6 US A6 cards and envelopes. There is not going to be a blindfolded card contest today because I didn't have time to put it together, and we have 7 cards to do. But let's plan. What do you think, Margie? Should we do it next week? Next Thursday? Yeah, next Thursday. And if Bryce isn't available to officiate, Brittany can officiate. She's over there shaking her head going, yeah, I'd be glad to do that. Usually when I volunteer Brittany, she doesn't go quite so easily, but yeah, she's going for that idea of officiating the blindfolded contest. So next Thursday, and then what we'll do, Bryce said that he can take out the blindfolded part of the competition and post it as a separate video so the people who don't come to Thursday nights can still see it. How does that sound? The other choice would be we could do it on a Saturday. Oh, no, we can't. We can't do it on a Saturday because Margie's not here on Saturdays. Yeah. All right, so.
We could do Wednesday.
Let's do Wednesday. Oh, Whitney wouldn't be here, yeah. Let's do it on next Thursday. And then we'll pull the video out and we'll post it separately for anybody who misses it because they can't come on Thursday nights. That's the plan. Let's lay these cards out on our cardstock and see what we're going to use and how. Okay, so let's start. Stack my supplies back up here. Let's get started. We know we're going to put this one down here in the water, of course. I think I took it off of. It doesn't matter what side it took it off of because they're pretty much the same. Pretty much going to be the same. So I took these 2 from here. I took this one from here. Looks totally different. Can you back out just a little bit, Margie? Because I'm kind of cramped to see everything in. Okay. I want to lay out both pieces of cardstock. There we go. Okay.
Got there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We're going to take this card from here. We're going to take this card. Yeah. We're going to take this card from here. We're going to take these 2 out of our double-sided paper. So that's how we're going to get 7 cards out of here. We're still going to have some nice orange paper left when we're done. But these 2 are going to come directly out of this sheet for our backers. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's how we're going to do that. That's how we're going to get 7 cards out of this one topper set. All right. I want to start. Let's start with this one. Let's start with this orange. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Okay.
Naranga.
We are going to I added 2 side pieces to this. I don't know that we have to. I think we could be just fine taking it right off of there. Oh, that's what I did. Okay, that's what I did. Okay, what we're going to do is, if you have this frame, you have to have gotten the first class kit with the Hunkydory box kit 14. You would have had this in your first week's set. You doing all right? Okay. We're going to go ahead and cut the sailboat die out. It can open either way you want, really, but I opened it from the side. And so let's run that through our machine. Let's see. Oh, I know. You're assuming that this is coming out of the little one. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so grab the smaller of the European A6 and let's cut that sailboat out. Here we go. A few of you have ordered your Go Power and Emboss machines. That's pretty exciting. And quite a few of you are getting the foiler. So we'll maybe need to do a foiling class specifically here shortly. I'm not sure how many of you are replacing old ones and how many of you are going to be foiling new, but if you guys need some added instruction, you just need to let me know and we'll either schedule it on one of our regular nights, or if it's just a smaller group of us, we could do it at a separate time. So we get so many beautiful pieces out of this one die, and we're actually going to use this outer frame right now. It has a few little innies in it that we'll pull out right around the anchor. There's some pieces to pull out, and there's a couple little innies around the edges here to poke out. So let's poke those out. I love this frame with the anchors on it. How beautiful is that? If you do not have this die and you want it, it is, as of the date of this broadcast, still available, and it's in the memory box sale in Brits Bargain, because we were down to the last few of them after we put the kits together. So if you want this die and you don't have it, get it soon. So I'm poking out the middle of the ropes and just the added little innies so that we have this beautifully detailed frame. And it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Okay, now we're actually going to be using the other parts of this sailboat in one of our other cards. We'll be using these pieces. So let's go ahead and take those off our plate and put those pieces that we will be using together where we can access them. This is just kind of a placeholder. This comes out, but you'll need the water. You'll need the boat and the mast. You'll need the clouds. And you will need the 2 sails. There's one. Where's my other sail going to? Oh, it's upside down on my card. So I'm just going to drop those on that card and set those back. This ring right here is wonderful for outlining things. Don't throw that away. That's a really useful piece. We're actually going to use that piece in a different card demo that I'm going to do that we didn't get to at the party. I used that in the one with the ornament and the mistletoe. You could make that out of other kinds of rings, but that's the ring I used to make that ornament card. Okay, so we got our sailboat frame. What we're going to do with our sailboat frame. Now, if you don't have this die, you could make this card anyway. But if you do have this die, let's position this die right over the corner here. Right over the corner. And I'm going to need a blotter. Can I have a paper towel over there, please? I'm going to grab my Nouveau and my blotter. And I'm going to put some adhesive on here. Now, I don't know how many of you are using these glues with me. Do I have the anchor die separately, Kathy Girl? The anchor die only comes in the box kit 14. I don't have a separate anchor die. The anchor die actually comes with your box kit where all the toppers are that we're using. If you're using this Nouveau glue stick, you may be finding what I'm finding, and that is that if this has a chance to glue too much or to dry too much, it has a tendency to want to lift later because it kind of becomes repositionable. So what I recommend you do is glue everything, then go back and tap a little extra glue, get that wet again up at the top. So this will stick down and stay down. I'm passing my glue stick momentarily, Susan.
Okay.
And if you have any trouble with it lifting, you can come in underneath then with your needle tip glue bottle. And you know, these bigger pieces are a little bit more challenging with using the Nouveau glue stick, but you can come in with your little glue bottle underneath if necessary. Here's a blotter. AKA paper towel. I had no idea how many Debbieisms I used until I asked you guys about Debbieisms, and you guys rattled off about 5,000 of them in rapid fire succession. Holy cow. I had no idea there's so many words I use so often. I have my own little language going here, don't I? Oh, well. Okay. I'm going to set this aside. And I'm actually going to do my floral card next because I want to see which pieces of cardstock I still have left.
Oh, yeah, I missed where it went. Down there over the anchor.
Oh, yeah, you put it on first before you.
Oh.
This is what we did. I didn't cover my card with it. I put it on the paper and I cut around it.
Oh, well.
Yours may be a little different. It'll be fine. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take I have to measure my cards again because we're using an unusual card size for me this time.
You're lucky I was paying attention, or you would have been cutting all the cards down to be your piano six. But I paid attention.
Thank you, Brittany.
So am I.
Okay. So this is 4.5 by 6.25, our cards today. So we are going to, all this high math here. I'm going to cut this to 4.25 by 6. 4.25 by 6 is the size of my card. 4.25 wide. Actually, let me do this differently here.
Hi, Roberta.
Hi, Roberta. 4.25 wide. Under that flower, we'll cut it 4.25. And then it's going to be 6 inches long. I want the biggest leftovers I can get, so I'm not slicing clear through everything. I just cut out what I needed there.
The long one, 6 and something.
Okay, now I'm going to cover this card with one of my 7x7 mirrors.
I'm a bit behind. 4.25 by 6.
4.25 by 6. Yeah, 4.25 by 6. Okay. There we go. Kathy's husband just got home, so she took a beanbag, wrapped it in towel, and told him she adopted something today. That's funny. That's very funny. That's a good prank. I like that. Bryce would kill me. With the number of pets we have, Bryce would absolutely kill me. Well, not quite. He'd make me wish I was. Oh, boy. Did I tell you that when we got married, he told me there were only 2 things that I could do that would ever make him leave me. There were 2 things that I could do. One was that I would start smoking again, because I used to be a smoker, and he knew me when I was. And 2, I bring home a dog without approval. Of all the things that you can imagine that go on between couples, he said those are the 2 things that I could do that would get me in that much trouble. Oh, dear.
He had great faith in the rest of what you might do.
Yeah, he knew me well enough to know that fidelity and other things were not an issue, but
So you might as well make those.
I had to make those 2 count, didn't he? So to this day, I have not brought home a dog. I have brought home a cat. He told me when we talked to him on the phone that I should use my best judgment. And you never say that to me when it comes to a pet. Because my best judgment is I need it. It needs more, even more so, it needs me.
Yeah.
So when Brittany found a kitten, Taz came home.
And that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. Taz is here. How many years has that been, Brittany? How old is Taz? I don't even know how old Taz is.
I had graduated because I was house sitting for Grandma and Grandpa.
So how many years ago is that? Okay, we mounted this piece on our silver mirror board.
I guess she's probably 13.
This one opens from the bottom. That sounds about right. 13?
12, 13.
Yeah, that sounds
I
about right.
graduated 15 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, that's Totally crazy. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm going to cut one of my anchors out of it as soon as I figure out what I did with my anchor dies, which I just had right here just a minute ago. Yes, you guys can give me harassment over the fact that I lose things all the time. It was amazing how many of my Debbieisms had to do with things I lose on my desk. There it is. There were a lot of Debbieisms about losing things. And you guys can harass me, but I happen to know that you guys lose things too, because you're crafters and I hear you talk about it.
Never.
So, never, Susan says she never loses things. Never loses things. Purple tape. Where is all the purple tape? There it is. Toss it over here.
Yeah.
I got some right here. Thanks.
It was used to mark your foil plates.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. That was a good decision. All right. I'm going to tape that down. Guess I'm putting it on a fairly skinny piece of silver there. I'm going to run that through my machine. Those of you who bought this machine and
Debbie, it's
just gonna push this button, Susan. Those of you who bought this machine and have had other smaller machines in the past, don't throw your plates away. You can use your smaller plates with this too. Just turn them sideways. Okay, there's my anchor. I got my machine poised between two tables here, so it's kind of precariously perched. Okay, we'll just leave that there because I know I'm going to need that again. Okay, it's time to get that rope out. I found my rope without admitting I couldn't find it.
Good job.
Okay, we're going to put our rope down through the hole in our die, down through the anchor hole there. We're going to take some glue and we're going to put it on this, on the side, on the long end of the rope. Just going to put a little right up the rope, and I'm going to wrap this to make this look like I have a big nautical knot tied in my rope. So I'm just going to wrap this around and around and around till I like it. Betty Gosel says, never, says the owner of 4 Pokey Tools. Kathy Girl says, rule number 1, if you lose it, buy another and you'll certainly find the one you lost. That is a truth. That is a crafting truth right there. Okay.
Or I forgot I have so many things that I bought it thinking that it was new to me, and then I got home and found it.
I did that with my metal strip for my robot, you know, to stop it going in the bathroom. And, I got it home and then I found the other one.
Never hurts to have a spare though, right?
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself. Never hurts to have a spare.
You maybe need to change your philosophy if you'll.
Brittany says I need to change my philosophy a little bit. Oh, Brittany. I was going to put this strip on before I put this card face down, and I forgot. But I do know But that is now 4 1/4, so I could just cut this to 4 1/4 and put this on the tape. Or glue. I can put on the glue. I'm going to put my strip down before I glue my anchor down so that I can see where my anchor should go. So this is off my border sheet, or my border off my topper sheet. Let's glue that down there. Okay. Now let's get some foam squares out here, which I know right where they are.
Good job.
Gold star for Debbie.
Debbie doesn't often get gold stars for knowing where things are. Kathy Girl says she has a lot of spare paper. My craft room is full of spares, she says. Okay, let's put some foam squares on our anchor. If you're
Everything is essential.
Susan says it's all essential. Oh, that's what I said. I told you guys what Brittany said, though, when I told her that maybe if she had some spare time, she could label my drawers. And she said, you know, the drawers in my little storage cabinets here. And she said, oh, I'd be glad to do that. She said, but I do get to call them what they are. So the first drawer, that's crap. The second drawer, that's more crap. The third drawer is stuff you should have thrown away. Fourth drawer is stuff you should throw away now. Brittany doesn't understand me at all. Or maybe she understands me too well. That could be the problem. Okay, I got my anchor on a long rope here. I could sink this clear to the bottom. I'm going to put my anchor at kind of an angle. I'm going to start about a ½ inch from the bottom. So I'll put my anchor down there, and now I'm going to wrap my cable around my rope. I'm going to wrap my rope around. I'm going to come down. I'm going to do a little curlicue down here because it always looks good if you add just a little extra texture by putting a curly in the rope. And I'm going to, can you come in a little closer on that, Margie? So you can actually see what I'm doing. I can't believe how much finer this baker's twine is. Just a different brand, but it's really lighter weight.
So, Kathy Girl said that husbands just don't understand the essentials. Annette found that her kitty had knocked off stuff and put them under the shelves. And Kathy Girl says, Brittany is your conscience, Debbie, the little angel on your right shoulder. And Betty says, it's just me, so I don't have to justify to anyone. I told my daughter I stand her inheritance.
I've told my daughter that too. You better get a good job, baby, because I'm spending your inheritance right now. All I'm doing now is just taking my little fine tip glue bottle and I'm kind of running a glue line under where I want my rope to be.
Tell me when you want to telescope back out.
I think for now we're good for the moment. Yeah, if Brittany's sitting on my shoulder, that explains the shoulder ache I have sometimes. I wonder what the devil on my shoulder looks like if Brittany's the angel on my shoulder.
Me.
See, that's
That
what I
looks
was
like
trying to
Susan,
say.
and she say, buy it, buy it, buy more. You might not be able to get this tomorrow, buy more.
Me.
It It probably looks just like me, actually. All right, we have one thing left to do with this card, and that is to punch out our little greeting. Let's get that off our topper sheet. It's at the top here, and we're going to put in a thinking of you. And I'm going to put that right here along the bottom of my rope. So let's put the little foam squares here.
Betty says, I brought her to my crafter and said, someday this will all be yours. I'm not sure she was impressed.
That's hysterical. I love that. Oh, Betty, you're so funny. There's our finished card. Oops, nope. You know what? We have one more thing to do, but we're going to wait a little while. We're going to wait a little while. We do have one more thing to do. We're going to put flowers on here, but we're going to hold off a little bit because we're going to punch those flowers out of this paper, and I don't want to take a piece I need. So we're going to hold on and punch those flowers out of our leftovers. So let's put that up there. That's so funny. Someday this will all be yours.
Joy, oh joy.
Okay, let's get this last card out that we had here. We're using the 5x5 card. We're going to cover that 5x5 card in, that's why I did this way. We're going to cover the 5x5 card in this paper, and then we're going to use strips of this paper to fill this out. Okay, so I'm going to cut this card, and I'm going to cut this piece right here off. Okay. This way so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to cut that right on down there till I reach my other piece. And I'm going to make this piece that we just cut, let's make that 4 4¼ Do we want it to be as much as 4? Let's make it 4¼ wide by 5 inches long, because her card is 5 inches long. And now it's going to fit. I'm going to take a little piece of this, and I'm just going to trim a little. Let's see, I'm going to need to, maybe I'll take it the other way. Just thinking about the layout of my other cards here. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah. I want to take a 1/2 inch strip off the long side of this paper. Take a 1/2 inch strip off the long side of our paper. Our paper's currently 8¼ inches wide. So we're going to cut it to 7¾ wide. And I'm just going to take a 1/2 inch strip off the long side of my paper. Let's put some tape on it. I am out of, oh, can you toss me that narrow tape, Archie? Thank you. I'm going to use my narrow tape from Hunkydory. I've been using my craft style tape, but I like this narrow tape when you go to put some of these borders and things on. Okay, rub that down, and I'm going to put a 1/2 inch strip on this side, right to the edge of my card. Yeah, there's lots of, I was thinking about your comment, Kathy, there's lots of neat symbolism in an anchor, isn't there? I think there is. In fact, one of the cards we're making talks about being an anchor. Okay, so I'm going to put this little 1/2 inch strip right here on the edge of my card. Snip that off, and then I'm going to put another one on my fold edge. I'm going to put another one right here, which is why we took it off the long side of our paper. Put another, oops, didn't have my tape peeled back far.
Annette said, when my daughter saw our storage unit, they gasped at all the boxes and totes labeled Mom's Crafts. She said they could start their own store.
Well, you guys heard I just emptied a pod, so I think that speaks for itself.
And a garage.
And a garage. Okay, I'm going to take this piece and then I'm going to center that right between those two edges. Looks like my orange cardstock might be just ever so slightly wide. If it is, you know what I do? I trim it off. My tape flags on here so I can see what I'm doing when I position this on my card. Where's my fold line? There's my fold line. Let's see. Okay. Got it right where I want it. So I'll peel my tapes out. And I am hanging over just a little bit, so I'm going to trim that bit. Make everything nice and even. Now it looks beautiful. Okay, let's get our anchor topper that we made. There it is. I'm going to put that on some foam squares. Up over this backer piece. We are finally getting rain, guys. Rain in Oregon. Who'd have thought that would be newsworthy? But we are getting rain. We've had some hard rain this week. That is a very good thing. My trees are saying, oh, thank you. They already start looking healthier. Oh, it's getting downright spooky. Getting so little rain. So I am thrilled that it is wet and soggy out there. And I am happy about it.
In here.
I'm happy in here, yes. Not being in the soggy part. Okay. I'm centering this topper between my two outer borders. I'm going to take my topper sheet and I'm going to punch out that little ship's wheel, which is so darn cute. And I'm going to put it right here.
The dark one.
Yeah, the bluish one. Oh, I'm so happy it's raining, Kathy girl. So very happy. Yes. I've been worried. I've really been worried this summer. As I think I've told you before, our house is surrounded by evergreen trees on every side, and that's a little frightening when it gets as dry as it's been. There we go. Second one done. This one's completely done because we don't have any flowers to add to it. Okay, so we got to decide what we're going to do next. This. This. Okay. Oh, what the heck? Let's do this one next. It looks easy. It's easy peasy. Let's take one of our 7x7s and cover one of our US A6 according to, US A6 are in all different sizes. We don't seem to be able to figure out what a US A6 is here. But according to Craft Perfect, US A6 is this size. I don't know if they know since they're in Europe. Annette, you're funny. She's doing a disclaimer in advance for her cards. I had a hard time picking cards out for the card giveaway because I taught you guys how to make most of the ones I had. So I didn't want to send them to people who had already made that card. So I had to dig deep to find some that we hadn't made together. Okay, we've covered our card. We're going to cut this piece of double-sided paper. I got to remember the dimensions again. Yes, the Europeans think we are 4.5 by 6 1/4. So I'm going to make this 4 1/4 by 6. And conceivably that should fit just right. And it does. That looks pretty darn good. There we go. Okay. I don't think this paper's particularly directional, so just put it on whichever way you think it looks the best. We're going to put some tape flags on here.
Sorry, which way did you cut it?
Good question. I cut it here. Okay. So put some tape flags on it. And we'll pull those down. Next time I'll allow more time. I've actually already reworked. Don't get too excited. We're not doing a party again too soon. I think
In
Margie
a
and
long time.
I. Margie says she looks forward to doing it again in a long, long time. I already went through the party outline that I had, and I already just changed it up a whole bunch. So next time will be smoother and easier on everybody because I'm allowing way more time for the individual things and scheduling less so that we have time to do everything, because that being rushed, that's no fun. Your party prizes are coming out with your orders. And I told you it would take us a week to ship your orders. It looks like we are going to be a little bit early because I hear that Ashley has everything just about ready to ship tomorrow. So
She's waiting on some of these prizes.
Who made the butterfly card you got? That was beautiful. Mary R. or Annette? Mary R. did the lilac, so I think it might have been Annette. I have to look back. I'm sorry. I was in a different dimension. Was it you? Wasn't it you, Annette, that made the purple butterfly card I was oohing and eyeing over? Or it might have been
made one with a butterfly on it.
Mary. She made the lilacs. Oh, yeah, that is your Margie. Oh, yeah.
Butterflies.
Yeah. No, they're talking about the tall one I was oohing and eyeing over, and then I won it. That's when they said the fix was in. It really wasn't, guys. I was not looking. The only time I tried to cheat at all was when I tried to have Margie's card, one of the cards go outside the shop, and Margie's card go outside the shop, and then I drew my name, and then I drew my name again, and thought, it's destined, I'm going to keep it. Because I'd already stolen one of Margie's cards, of course, you know that. I stole the beautiful card she did with the stitchery on it, because that was amazing. No, it wasn't Annette then. Mine, it was Blue Butterflies. It was Betty Gossel's card. Yes, it's Betty Gossel's card. It's gorgeous. So your are the virtual card exchange, is that going in the boxes also, or are we going to mail those separately? You can't cool to mail them separately, but we don't have to.
Don't know that answer. I think she's trying to put them all.
She was trying to put them in boxes, but if you want them mailed separately,
I think it could go either way. It just might be kind of nice to get mail from a crafty friend separately. Well, I'll allow more time so we can actually really look at everybody's cards next time, because I felt like I kind of rushed that. But
what would happen if we put them on Facebook as these are the cards for the next party card exchange, and then show them there in picture format ahead of time, so that everyone can look up close at them?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So that when they come in for the card exchange, we put them on Facebook, and then we draw during the party. That'd be good. That'd be good. You just need to remind me when we get closer.
Streamline.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or in the what's new wins.
And we didn't say ahead of time that you could submit more than one, but it worked out well where you wanted to. So I would say that if people want to submit more than one for the next virtual card exchange, that we absolutely could do that. Because it was fun, wasn't it? I enjoyed seeing everybody's cards come through. And I thought it was kind of fun to draw to see who was going to get them. I thought that was fun too. I'll try to give you more notice next time of the virtual card exchange, so we don't have so many people having to ship them by priority mail, because a couple of you sent them priority mail. I'm kind of glad you did, because I'm not sure they would have gotten here. Okay, let's see. I got a little glue on here, so I'm going to clean up my glue line a little bit. Whole concept in putting the little ring down and then put it glue down around the inside, and then putting my ring in as you don't get glue everywhere, but I still managed to today. There we go. All right. Now let's pop some more dots on here. And this will be 3 cards finished. How are we doing for time, Margie?
We are at 5.
At 5, so we've got 3 cards done. I got to step up the pace just a little bit for the last 4, although
We started late.
and we did get started a little late. That is true. Okay, so let's see. Let's take another of our 7x7 card stocks. Get another one of your USA 6 cards. Let's put some tape on there and let's cover that card with silver mirror.
I've done it wrong with
What's the matter?
I've not, I have to cut along the fold.
Oh,
which I
that's
don't
fine.
like, really.
Oh, I see. It's fine though. Okay. Here we go. I'll trim this off. I have a little trim on my fold this time too. I'm in for just a little. No big deal. We'll cut it off. All right. We have our card covered. We're going to create another piece to go on there. So this is going to be 4 1/4 by 6 once again. And once again, it fits perfectly. That's always nice to know that dimensions stay the same. Okay, now I'm going to have my handy dandy little scraps of paper that I've been looking forward to having so I can cut my flowers. And it doesn't fit.
Are we leaving a border?
Yeah,
Okay, so I've got to,
and maybe just trim it down a little.
yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. All right. Four 1/4 by 6 were our measurements. Okay, I'll pop our tape flags on and put this on nice and straight. Hold it in place and pull those tape flags out. All right. Next, we're going to get, now we're going to pull a little sneaky here, guys. We're going to get this topper right here out. Watch what we're doing for a second because I'm pulling a little sneaky. It's got this sailboat in it. I'm taking the sailboat out of the center. And I'm putting this quote about the anchor in where the sailboat was. Why? Because I wanted that pretty frame around the anchor. I thought it would be pretty, and it is. So I'm going to separate the layers. can still separate the layers of my frame. I'm going to do it just like I did the last one. I'm going to put my outer layer up on some foam squares. So we'll start by doing that. I didn't figure you'd get mad at me, Roberta, for pulling from my Roberta stash of cards to put them in the virtual card exchange, because I noticed that you didn't send any and your cards are really pretty. People needed to see them. So I just did it for you. Well, next time you won't have to pick, Betty. You can send a couple of cards, and we'll have to put a limit on how many people can send, because we have just one day for our party. But I think, being able to send like 3 is good. I think that's nice because it kind of spreads your work around a little bit.
Okay.
Brittany's over here moving heavy boxes and frowning at her auntie for buying them.
Hunkydory stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, Hunkydory I'm allowed to buy, huh?
Usually.
Usually I'm allowed to buy Hunkydory.
It was heavy.
Okay. All right. We're going to take this blue frame and we're going to center it top, bottom, left to right. We're going to glue the little silver inner frame down, just like we did last time. Hopefully, maybe without getting glue all over this time. Never know, though. I might. I don't get excited about things. I just fix it. I usually don't get excited about it. Sometimes I get excited about it if I've done blunder after blunder or something silly, Okay. Here we go. We're going to pop these on.
What should we put in the center? The sailboat?
We're taking the sailboat out,
Uh-huh.
and we're putting the "Let Hope
With the
Be Your
flowers.
Anchor Through the Storms of Life."
Whoa.
Isn't that beautiful? I love that.
Yeah.
You want to send this card to my mom too? Okay. We'll put that up on some foam squares and put that beautiful anchor quote there. Now, this is why I gave you the gold cardstock, or the gold Miri, because the silver, when I put it on here, just kind of disappeared into the background, but the gold looked great. So I'm mixing gold and silver. Oh, shame of shames, but it looks
What,
great.
gas?
Yeah, gasping. Susan's over here gasping. You didn't.
That one finished then?
Nope, we're putting a gold anchor on it.
Whoa, okay. I knew that.
Okay. Pop out my anchor. A nice piece of gold Mary there, left to use another time. We will pop out this anchor. Now it looks like there's pieces that should pop out on the anchor, but they don't. That's just all cut lines on the anchor. You don't need to pop anything out on that anchor. We're going to tie off a rope. By now we're well versed in this process, aren't we?
No.
Going to pop that in there. I'm going to put a little glue on my longer side of my rope here. And now I'm going to take my short end and I'm going to wrap it around that long end. Make it look like we have a really good nautical knot on that rope. I wouldn't know how to begin to tie a nautical knot, but I can tie one that looks like it is. Okay, there we go. So I got my rope. Now I'm going to put some foam squares on my rope.
Rope.
Actually, I'm going to put some foam squares on my anchor, not on my rope. Don't listen to what I say, listen to what I mean.
Okay. Got it.
And don't get that confused with what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, don't get that confused with what you're supposed to do. Exactly, Margie. See, this is why we get along so well, friend, because you understand me. She understands me, guys.
That's frightening.
It is, because it's really no small feat to understand me, and it must mean you're a little touched. If you can understand me, you too must be a little touched.
Very strongly possible.
My mum used to have this quotation up above a fireplace. All the world is queer save you and me, and even you's a little queer.
I've heard it said that the whole world's crazy but you and me, and I have serious doubts about you.
Oh, right. That's exactly what that one means.
Okay, we're going to place our anchor on the corner, tip it up into our image just a little bit. There's a really neat ship's wheel down there. Don't cover that up. But see that? We're going to put that anchor in just like that. And now we're going to bring our rope up. We'll put the little wraparound part on our rope up in this upper corner, because we always loop it a little bit because it looks good. And now we're going to glue things down. So we're going to run a little glue line along my frame here. I'll lay my rope in it. And then I'm going to make a little loopy here on this end with my glue bottle. And I'm going to lay my rope in that. Good. And now I'm going to kind of trail my rope off the top of my card. So I run a little line across my frame and right up off the top of my card. There we go. Now, we're not quite done because now we have some scraps we can use. And what I want to do with the scraps is I can't remember how I did this now. I'm going to take my anchor and I'm going to look at my paper and look at my, let's see, how did I do this? Let's see. I'm going to pick out some flowers that will look about right. And I'm going to, okay. I'm taking my I'm taking my leftover sheet, and you can see on the top of the on the anchor here on this side, there is a little notch there. There's kind of like a little double bump. You can actually match that double bump up with one of the red flowers. Come in close, Margie, so they can see this. Okay. Yeah. See right here, there's kind of a double bump on this flower. It's not much of one. It's fairly level, but there's this wider part of that flower. If I match this anchor to that wider part of that flower right there, then I can, and I'm gonna pull a sneaky here. I might want that other red flower up there. I'm gonna cut this paper down so I can still use that. But I'm gonna match that to that red flower. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna give me flowers. See, let me show you again where I am. There. And I'm going to match that little double bump right there. Did you see it?
This one?
Just take one of your little pieces to start with. And zero in and find one of the bright red flowers, like this one. See, it's under the white. Zero in and find one of the bright red flowers. And then take your anchor die and match that up against one of those red flowers. There's a kind of a solid part there. I'm going to cut this out. Now, this does not have to be precise. The other thing I found is as long as you're cutting this in the flower paper, it looked good no matter what. But there is, in fact, a way to match this die to the flowers that I just showed you. But it'll look good no matter where you cut it, really. Okay, I'm going to take my anchor off. I'm going to pull the scrap away, and all I need is the bottom of my anchor. Okay, so I'm going to peel this away.
Say hi to Mary G.
Hi, Mary G. Keep all of your scraps of your red paper for now, guys. I'm going to peel my purple tape away here. I can see what I'm doing. And now, if I look carefully, I can cut off the extra pieces of anchor. So let me pop this out of my frame. Get one of my pokey tools here. Speaking of having many of them, I too have many of them. This one needs to be replaced. It doesn't have the little tip on the end anymore. I'll grab a pair of tweezers. And those are the wrong kind of tweezers. I'll eventually find something I can use here. Here's my purple tweezers. I'm good. Okay. So I'm going to pop this piece that I just cut out. And I'm going to take the outer anchor off and leave just the flowers. But I want to show you how good this is going to look. So I'm going to trim. My little baby scissors here. Love my little baby scissors. I'm going to trim along this top piece that was where the pole on the anchor started up, and I'm going to trim off these flowers from the anchor piece. And I'm just going along here and following the cut lines. There's nothing really fancy about what I'm doing. I'm just following the cut lines along the edge of that die. And what I end up with
Oh, that's nice.
is flowers that will go right here into my die and look spectacular. We'll do it again here so you guys can see one more time
I just got that bit.
what I'm doing. But I just put some glue down and put that right into the anchor. And look how nice that looks. They're not discontinuing all their papers and dies, Roberta. They're just discontinuing some of their paper and dies. They have new collections coming out all the time from Heartfelt Creations. I just like some of the ones that they had, and I didn't want to miss them. So there we go. We got that flower. So this is this one, and that is now done. Let's do one more for this one. If we don't finish all of these cards online today, you guys will know exactly what to do because we have, we will have done all the steps. I think we'll be fine anyway. Okay, so I'm going to find a flower that I like. I'm going to match that flower up. The little double bumpies here. I found one that will work. This time I'm taking this one right here. It's kind of one flower sitting under another one. I'm going to trim that. I'm going to put that right there between those two red flowers, and I think that should turn out good. Well, we'll see. I'll tape that down to keep my die in place. All I'm looking for is to match that one edge on the red. Everything else is fine. I'm just matching that one edge on the red piece. And even if it doesn't match, where's the perfect paper pad? Annette asks. Margie, do you know how to locate something in the store and link it? I don't remember if you know that. Yeah. Type in, the way to find it, Annette, would be to go, let's see if we can help you find it. Go in and type open quotation, a quotation mark, and then type in PURR-FECT. And that should bring up everything in the perfect range, including that paper pad. PURRFECT. Perfect. Sometimes this, because there's so many cut lines in this, when you're pulling this off with a really thin paper, it tries to kind of separate the layers on you when you're pulling it out. Don't worry about that. You're gluing them all down anyway. So occasionally I even have a piece that pops out entirely. I just glue it back where it belongs because I'm gluing them down anyway. Okay, I've got my flowers. Now I'm going to take my little snips and I'm going to snip around my flowers, just cutting off this anchor. And let's see how this one looks. This is going to be a different position for the flowers. But I think it's going to look really good. Yeah, it looks great. So I'm going to put a little glue right here. Just follow the flower line around on your Mary, and pop this little topper right on top there. And see, I used a different piece of paper, but it still looks good there. Okay.
Okay.
So we've got that one done.
1, 2, 3,
Now
4.
we have just a couple. Let's see, we have 3 cards left to do. Let's pull up this little sailboat. It's kind of fun to do. We have this left over from using the frame, so we will make our little sailboat scene. I just thought that this was kind of whimsical with the little paper boats in the foreground. So it was a nice place to embrace that inner child and make a little sailboat. Okay, so this time I am going to cover my card in silver mirror board. There's a surprise, huh? So let's start there. Doing okay?
Yeah. The second flower was better than the first.
Oh, those, like the ones for the pocket in the photo album. I understand what you're saying, Roberta. Yeah. Yeah, they'll come up with something else, though, because that's really... That was silly. I was making tape flags on my background paper. They'll come up with something else, and, you know, they always do, but it's nice to get the ones that we really like while they're still out there. We had a bunch of those edge dies, and I think most of them have been scarfed up already. They're gone. But this one, we still have a few. Okay. We will cut around our mirror board. We'll have a perfectly covered card. Now, we're going to cut ourselves a piece of this paper, and this time we're going to cut a strip that is, let's see, our card is 4.5 inches wide, so we're going to cut a strip from top to bottom that is 4.25 inches wide. So top to bottom. Now take your
4.25.
Yeah, 4.25 inches wide, which will be a perfect fit. Now I want to bring this border down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just along this decorative edge, and I'm not going to be real precise about it, but you know, just cut it to make it look nice. Cut it along this decorative edge. This card looks kind of washed out if you don't bring some color back to the top of it. I noticed that when I was making mine. So what I did is I just took the border off the top, cut it off, brought it down, and I'm going to cut this piece of paper to be the size I want. Then I can fit my border right over the top of it without having to do a lot of monkeying around with this. So my card is going to be 6 inches long. This piece of cardstock should be 6 inches long. And I'm going to bring this border and put it right on top. And then I have that pretty color right at the top of my card. Let's off a piece of tape here. I could glue this or tape it. I'm going to position this right along the top, pop that down, And now I just have a much more colorful piece. See that? It doesn't look washed out like it did when I had all white up there. Now I'm going to use my tape flags and I'm going to attach this to my base piece. Make some little tape flags so I can get my margins straight. And I will pop this on here. There we go. There we go. All right. Now it's time for our sailboat pieces.
Yay.
So I'm going to take this ring. I'm going to put some glue on the back. And I'm using the ring that has the rope pattern to it. And I'm going to come up so that my ring fits above my flags on my little paper boats at the bottom. Oh, like that. So I'm not running into the paper boats. Bring this up. I'm going to glue my water line in at the bottom of my circle. Now, if you wanted to, you could color these pieces. That'd actually be really cute with your either your intensity markers or your alcohol markers. You could actually color these pieces if you chose to. I'm just doing it all in silver today, but you could do that. Okay, next I'm going to set my boat on top of the water. So I'm going to put my little boat and its mast on right pretty much in the middle of my water line. This is just the cutest little die set. I totally love it. Totally love it. I'm going to put my larger sail starting at the top of my mast on the right side. I know nothing whatsoever about sailing. I may be putting my sails in all the wrong places, but this is how it was on their design, so that's what I'm going with. I have to assume maybe somebody knew more than me. And then I'm going to put the second mast down a little bit lower and on the left so they almost join up at the bottom. I'm going to put my little cloud up just below the ring on the right hand side. I've got glue on my card. I need to clean off. I dropped it. I dropped my cloud.
Oh dear.
Oh, yeah, it's a terrible thing when you drop your cloud. I always say it's really a bad thing to drop clouds. Okay, and here on the left, a little lower.
And that is going to make her granddaughter an explosion box, and she's putting paper butterflies in the box so that when she opens it, they will fly out.
Oh. We're going to put some foam squares on the back of our ahoy there. Ahoy there. Little circle topper off our topper sheet, this bright red one.
Mary G had said that she needs a buddy, a paper buddy.
There we go.
Betty says that she needs one too. So,
What a paper buddy.
paper buddy.
I think they're talking about local crafting buddies.
Oh,
Mm,
Maybe not? No?
maybe. And I'm trying to keep up with the conversation thing and putting these great prize packs together for the people that won prizes.
You'll notice the last time that I did this, I actually cut this little tiny strip off the top. I like it both ways. I think either way looks good.
mine's got a flag. Oh, flag.
Oh, Susan took here. Let me see that. That's
I
cute.
got a
Mary's-
little triangle.
Susan had cut a little triangle and put a flag on her sailboat. That's super cute, Susan. I love that. That's really cute. Where's my little scrap?
Mary said that she hasn't bought anything from Heartfelt yet, but it looks so beautiful. I need a card making buddy to come over and push me into getting.
I see. You know, you guys could pair up on some of those heartfelt books because you have enough in there to make 2 explosion boxes. Did you know that?
Yeah. And so someone did mention that, one for explosion boxes and one for albums.
Yeah. Okay. So this card is done. That was fun, wasn't it?
Yep, like that.
Kind of let your little inner child loose on that one a little bit.
Yay, me.
Okay, we have 2 cards left to do, both fairly easy
We are at
ones.
5:40.
Well, we're doing fine. Given the fact that we started late, I think we're doing just right. Okay, let's see. We can go ahead. Let's see, one of them, I guess we have covered with Mary. The other we did not. I'm going to need this piece. Am I short a piece? I shouldn't be short a piece. Oh, it's in my hand. Good grief.
Don't panic.
I thought, where's that piece of Mary? It's in my left hand. Oh, don't worry
they
about me,
say
guys.
look to the left.
Yeah. Don't worry about me, guys. I'm perfectly competent. Follow me.
Yeah.
Lemmings. Oh, lemmings.
Oh, boy.
Jump.
Oh, gosh. That's so funny. Oh, boy.
Are we having fun yet?
I think so.
I do. I enjoy it.
Oh, boy. I'm going to cover my card now with that mirror board.
Oh, which mirror board? It was in
The
your
silver.
left hand.
The one that was in my left hand. Both of our next cards are going to use anchors. So if you get ahead of me, cut some anchors.
In silver.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to cut this piece of card. Oh, that's what I did. Yeah, I forgot about that. Keep this border handy, guys, because we're going to use that. I'm going to cut this piece of card
Say
to
hello to
be
Sharma and
4 1/4 wide.
Adeline.
Hi, Adeline. Hi, Sharma. Okay, I'm going to cut this to be 4 1/4 wide, and I'm using this piece here. I'm going to cut this to be 6 inches long. Where those are kind of our dimensions for these cards, aren't they? 6 by 4 1/4. All our pieces are 6 by 4 1/4 this time. Okay. We're going to put some tape flags on here. This time we'll be using the Sailboat and the Birthday Wishes toppers. Didn't get that quite right started, so I can pop it loose because of my tape flags. I also have a little raggedy piece of tape at the bottom. I don't want to have adhesive hanging down underneath, so I clip that off. Okay, well, let's try that again. Now I got it where I want it. Pull my tape out. Let's get our Sailboat topper. We did that Sailboat. That looks great there, this size. I love that. And we also need our Birthday Wishes off of our topper sheet. I'm going to put that up at the top. We're going to cut ourselves an anchor. Might as well cut 2 of them while we're doing, because we have anchors on both of our last 2 cards. We should have plenty of mirror board for that from all these trim off pieces. Just cut yourself an anchor or 2. There's one of them. And most of you guys know this. I know you know this. But I just want to point out for those people who might be newer, see these little bits of paper on my die cutting board? Clean those off before you cut again. Because if it will actually dent into your paper and kind of mess up your design a little bit if you happen to go over the top of one of those little bits that's still on your cutting plate. So be sure you sweep those out of the way before you cut again. Rick's over here wrestling with paper bags, trying to get that, or the plastic bags, trying to get those Heartfelt Creations books I showed you last night back into the wrappers. She's loving the fact that I take them all out.
They're new ones.
Huh?
They're new ones.
Oh, that's a new one?
But the glue didn't dry all the way.
Oh, okay.
And so they're sticky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
The
weird,
paper
isn't it?
seems fine.
Huh.
But a bunch of them I can only put in the store. I can't put on Amazon. But the ones that are fine and putting in sleeves because
It'll stick there.
they were
again.
upside down and they took like stuff off my pants and so now they look like. Anyways,
Okay,
I'm gonna stand here and
I got it.
Do you want me to help you with those, Brittany?
You would like to.
Okay.
I'm more than happy to.
Here we go. So
You have to
we have our major pieces for this, and we have our major pieces for that. Hi, Ted. Hi, Ted. Come here. Hi. You want to say hi to everybody? He said, nope, he's gone. I was going to let him say hi to you, but he's sailed past me, which was exactly his intent, I believe. Yeah, no, Mama, not doing what you want.
I'll keep these separate.
But he's up seeing Susan. He loves Susan. Oh my gosh, this dog loves Susan. When he saw Susan after she hadn't been here for a year, more than a year, he just went ballistic. That's my friend and she's back. He really misses all his friends. All the people he used to see every week when we did Crafty Friends, he really misses them. He'll be so happy when we have our Crafty Friends back again.
Bubbles on the back of this?
Yep.
Okay, bubbles on the back of the ship.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put the birthday in. But yes, sailing ship. Just put that on some foam squares. Now let's put some foam square. Well, let's do our rope first. We really have a lot of rope tying to do today.
Joy, oh joy.
You hear this abuse in the background. You don't really have to wrap the rope. I just think it looks neat. You can just tie a knot and call it good.
I did like a double knot. I put it through twice.
Yeah, that's fine.
Did that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Oh. He looks quite happy, Brittany. He said, just hold me, Brittany. Just hold me.
Goodbye, sir.
Bye.
Okay, wrapped my knot. Now I'm going to put some foam squares on the back of my anchor.
Very foamy today.
Yes, I am very foamy today. Lots of foam squares, lots of rope. Okay. And now I'm gonna take the squares off of my foam here. I'm taking the backs off my foam squares. And I'm going to tip my anchor just a little bit this time so that the tip of my anchor and the top of my anchor touch my topper sheet. And then I'm going to come up.
Oh, you've got the topper sheet on already.
Mm-hmm.
Missed that bit.
And I'm going to wrap a loop over here at the top, which is going to help fill that void at the top of this card. I'm going to go ahead and clip my rope off. And I'm going to glue my rope down. Now, I don't need to do a lot of fanciness under my rope at the top here. Because it's going to mostly be covered by this birthday wishes. So I'm not going to do a lot of fanciness there. I'm just going to pretty much glue it down. Go up there. So I'm just going to put a little glue line and just kind of loop it there. Kind of so that it goes the direction I want it to go. I'll just put my rope into that line, and I'm going to tie a little loopy, or put a little loop here, which is going to help fill that void at the top of my card. Glad I'm putting a topper there because my glue was really messy there.
Roberta says she agrees with you, Brittany, that it's hard to get, it's a pain to get those pads back into the bags.
Brittany's pretty good at it, though. I'm terrible at it. I tear the bags up every time. I don't have the patience. Brittany has the patience of a saint. And then there's me. Not so much. Okay, here we go. Wrap my rope around in there. Cut it just a little short, but that doesn't really matter. There we go. Got my little loopy there. I'm going to put my sentiment up on some, put my sentiment over the top up there. And we'll have, whoops, I'm going to cut a flower, but I may not do that online here because we are running a little long with 7 cards. So I think I'll do those last at least. And there we go. I'll put a few flowers on that anchor yet, so I'll set it here in case I have time. And we've got one more card to do. Now this one I pulled a little sneaky on, guys.
No.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. You got to watch me because I pull little sneakies. Okay. We're going to start this time. I did not put this on mirror board. I'm going to start by putting some glue across the top of my card at the fold line. Keep that glue line about 3/8 of an inch maybe. And I'm going to put this border right across the top. Right across the top of my card. Let that stick for a second, then I'll trim it off. Now, I'm going to take this piece of cardstock that I have left, and I'm going to butt it right up against that border. What I'm doing is making this, what I'm doing is making this border wider, or making this cardstock wider by using that border. So I'm going to glue all the way around here a little bit. And maybe just a bit in the middle. Now I'm going to take this piece of cardstock that's up on the back of it. Okay, I'm going to take this piece of cardstock and I'm going to butt it right up against that border, starting at the edge of my card. And what we're going to find is that the width of this piece of paper is perfect to cover our card. It would have been too narrow otherwise. And we're getting an extra card out of this because we kind of made that cardstock just a little bit extra wide using that border piece.
Save every piece till you're done.
There we go. Looky there. And we have a perfectly covered card. All right. Next, we're going to get our little sailboat. We're going to use 2 toppers off of here. We're going to use this little red ship's wheel. We're going to use our little paper boat. And we're going to put this up on some foam squares. So let's do that next. And we're going to pop this paper boat into the water, and I'm going to go right over this boat in the front, being careful to cover his flag and everything so that it looks like he's supposed to belong there. I'm going to put this little anchor up in my upper left-hand corner. Not the anchor, the little ship's wheel.
What, the red one?
Yeah, just to give myself an idea where to position my anchor when I put it on. So we pulled a couple little sneakies here in this kit, didn't we? We switched out our toppers and we made a piece of cardstock wider. Okay, I have one little piece of rope left. This has a job to do. Yep, I'm going to put it through there and I'm going to wind it around my rope. Wind my rope around it.
It's definitely sticky. Yeah. It's sticking in my hands. I don't know, maybe we should just peel them off.
You could.
I think the hope is that the glue will dry.
Okay, I've got my rope wound around there. I'm going to put my anchor up on some foam squares. I'm going to put this anchor at a bit of an angle when I put it down. I'm going to kind of be over the top of this boat here in the front. And I'm going to put in my regular loopy. Just because I like the texture of it to do that. I like the way it looks and it kind of fills the void. We'll put some glue under that. How's my time, Margie?
You are at 6 p.m.
Oh, it's 6 p.m. So we have used our 2 hours. But we are also done with 7 cards. Because the only thing left to do on these cards now, the only thing we have left is to cut our little flowers for the anchor. Now, I want you to see how much difference it makes to put those flowers on there. Isn't that amazing? Look what happens there. It makes such a difference to put those little bright flowers on that anchor, doesn't it? Okay, so I still have paper left. I will take my paper, I will match it to the flowers that I like. That will give me just the look I want. I have plenty of paper to work with, so I don't even have to be particularly stingy about it this time. I can just pick out the flowers I like the best and pop those in my die cutter and get those cut. But do put the flowers on because look how what a difference it makes in those. Isn't that fun? That's it, guys. Are there any questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom before I get away? I don't know what we're doing Saturday yet. I am out of completed card kits. Something will be ready for Saturday. I don't know what it will be yet, but I will let you know on Saturday. We still have I still have 1 set left from this, but I also desperately need to be making serious inroads on Craftaganza this week. So we are going to be switching gears and doing predominantly Christmas coming up. We'll have a few of our classes will be based on the public kits we're doing from Craftaganza. And then, of course, those of you who buy your kits from us are going to have access to the video downloads where we have all of the Craftaganza. So I think that's it. It is now 6 o'clock, time to sign off. And I'm going to say thanks for joining me. Oh, if you haven't done it already, smash that like button, please. Hit that like button, give me the thumbs up if you like these cards, you like our ideas, our tips and techniques. And for now, I'm going to say good night, Gracie.
Night, night.